What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. And today, I tell you, Sam Howell may not be the future, but he dang sure knows how to get us to our future. Washington loses to the San Francisco 49ers 27-10. There was a point in this game that I was like, oh man, we're going to play pretty close. And then Sam Howell, the hero, bails us out by throwing 2 key picks in the game. And I tell you, it was no better way for us to do that. We're marching up the draft board. We saw Arizona knock off Philadelphia, which means that next week when San Francisco and Arizona play, there's nothing for San Francisco to play for, which means Arizona might win that game. And on top of that, because the NFC East has still not been settled yet, the game against Dallas means something. So now, all of a sudden, we got a game in Dallas that means something. A game in San Francisco or Arizona, one of the two, that won't mean nothing, which means, people, we could end up with the number 2 overall pick. The number 2 overall pick. Ron, it would be nice if you, on your way out the door, you left us with that number 2 overall pick on your way out. I mean, just say, you know what? I'll do this for y'all. I came in with the number 2 overall pick. I'll leave gifting you guys the number 2 overall pick. Then we might think of sending you a Super Bowl ring if our quarterback does well. Because we're drafting a quarterback. We're getting a quarterback. Man, I tell you, this has been one great day of football. And I understand that it may come off as crazy because here I am, a Commanders fan, celebrating the fact that we lost and celebrating the fact that the last game of the season means a whole lot to Dallas. The reason why is because if we can get the number 2 overall pick, we will be sitting in a position to get whatever we want. Not only that, you're talking about now Chicago would have to make the greatest decision they could ever make. Not only that, Justin Fields actually played very well today. So now Justin Fields has made it even harder on Chicago to think about that draft pick now. Chicago now has to really think about what they're going to do with that draft pick. Because now you're talking about a lot of teams can do what would be smart and just force them to make a pick. But who knows? New England might feel some type of way and try to jump up. The Jets might think that they could do something and jump up. But again, like I said, this was a really great day of football. In my opinion, a really great day of football. Like I said again, Jacoby Brissett, I'm going to tell y'all, if the injury was faked, smartest thing he could ever do. Jacoby Brissett ain't had nothing to prove in this game. Not a thing. Everybody knows what he is. Not only that, I wouldn't want to get injured as we come down to the last few games of the season. Not only that, the way the 49ers was playing, contrary to what everybody wanted to believe, Jacoby Brissett would have messed around and won that game. Jacoby Brissett would have won this game. Because understand this, the score was only 10-13 at the half. 10-13 at the half. So imagine if Washington would have sat up there and Jacoby Brissett would have started. They would have messed around and ended up winning the game. And that's with 2 starting cornerbacks out. It's almost like San Francisco was there, but they were like, we're here, but we weren't expecting, because they weren't really stopping the run game all like that. And of course, like I said, Sam Howell wasn't looking bad, but Sam Howell does what Sam Howell does. He throws key interceptions, leads the league in interceptions, leads the league in balls tapped at the line, leads the league in pick sixes, leads the league in sacks, all negative quarterback categories. But again, if it wasn't for him being in this game, I wouldn't feel the bliss that I'm feeling right now. We could have the number 2 overall pick next week. We could be cemented as in the number 2 overall pick next week. Dallas has something to play for, and that's exactly what we needed. What we needed was for Dallas to have something to play for, and man, do they have something to play for. They can win the NFC East. They can win the NFC East against the Commanders. And like I said, the 49ers and Arizona play. And the 49ers have already locked up the number 1 overall seed. They have nothing to play for. So that means Arizona can go in there, beat the 49ers in the last game of the season. And like I said, that will push Washington into the number 2 overall pick. I'm sorry, y'all. I understand. A lot of y'all may be mad. A lot of y'all may get angry. A lot of y'all may get upset. But I don't care. I want us high in the draft. Now, again, this is why I hate mock drafts, because sometimes to me, I think that mock drafts, because the people that are doing them, I think that there's a lot of prejudice involved in the drafts, because they mark people like, there's no way in hell, and I'm gonna just be absolutely honest. There's no way in hell that Washington, that if the Chicago Bears drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. with the number 1 overall pick, that somehow, some way, Washington, whoever the coach is, whoever the GM is, that they would sit up there, bypass Caleb Williams, and go with Drake May. And I'm going to tell y'all like this. Say that did happen. Understand that would be the stupidest thing that could ever be done. Now, again, like I've said before, it does depend on who the coach is. But again, if it is Ben Johnson, or let's say, what's his name? I want to call him Bobby Slowick out of the Texans. You're talking about guys that their system would play a lot better with a Caleb Williams than it would a Drake May. But again, like I said, that's what I think. I do think that a lot of these mock drafts are based on prejudices, because again, the fact that Michael Penix is still not looked at as a top level quarterback, there are going to be tons of teams that's going to be pissed off. And the team that picks him, should a team pick him in the 2nd round or the 3rd round, they're going to be even more pissed off, because they won't get that 5th-year option on Michael Penix Jr. He is without a doubt the best passer in this draft. The best. I didn't say he was the best quarterback. He's not as mobile as a Caleb, a Jaden Daniels. He's not as mobile as Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels. But you're talking about a guy who throws the ball so well. If this dude falls, whoever gets him, and it has to be someone. Understand, Lamar Jackson fell in the draft. You know how many teams are still pissed that they let Lamar fall that far? Deshaun Watson, contrary to what everybody want to say, he fell in the draft too. He should have been the number 1 quarterback taken in the draft, but he wasn't. He fell. And guess what? That didn't make a lot of sense. Patrick Mahomes was another one that failed, and he should not have failed. Dak Prescott failed. He should have never failed. So, again, there are a lot of quarterbacks that end up falling in drafts, and coaches and GMs end up regretting it because they sit up there and they listen to these people who are pundits who tell them that these guys are better than they really are, and they end up making these huge mistakes. So, again, I don't care what nobody say. There's no way in hell Washington bypasses Caleb Williams with the number 2 overall pick with him still being on the board. It's no way. But like I said, forget all that. I'm just rejoicing at the fact that Arizona won. They beat Philadelphia. They made the Dallas game mean something against Washington at the end of the season. And there's a chance that Arizona can beat the San Francisco 49ers to end the season. We would be solidified in the number 2 overall pick. And even with that, I would be able to thank Ron on his way out. Thank you, Ron, for losing enough games so that we could get the number 1 overall pick. I hope your next stop, you don't tell another team that, oh, you went 3-13. You went 3 and whatever. You went 3 and whatever. Don't do that. Don't do that. But y'all, I mean, y'all got to tell me what y'all think. How do y'all feel about this? Because the game was what it was. I mean, we were all watching the game. The game, in the second half, it picked up and it was over. You know, as soon as we saw Sam throw his first pick, we knew the game was over. Once he threw the second pick, it was done. It was cemented. You know, a lot of people have set up there. I want all those people who've criticized Eric Bieniemy. Do you blame Eric Bieniemy for these interceptions? Understand, even though people all want to say Eric Bieniemy play calling, he called some plays out there. But Sam Howell was still holding on to the ball like he normally does, and he was waiting for things to come open. And all that happened was that the cornerbacks were sitting there watching his eyes and jumping on the routes. That's all they did. Hell, in the Lenore interception, you saw him go off of his guy and run to a spot to pick Sam Howell off. So, yeah, I mean, y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all really tell me what y'all think. How do y'all feel about what happened in this game? How excited are you guys? For y'all who are excited, I mean, we could have the number 2 overall pick, and we could be taking a quarterback. That would be great for us. So again, y'all tell me what y'all think. How do y'all feel when it comes to what is going on? Dallas is playing for something. The 49ers is more than likely going to sit all their players for the last game of the season. We could be the number 2 we could get the number 2 overall pick. How do y'all feel about taking a quarterback this year? Which quarterback would you like to take? And tell me all the ones, because eventually I'm going to get to my thing. You know, I normally do my thing of which guys, I don't like. Guys who's not being talked about, I always bring that up. Which guys should be paid attention to and things like that. But y'all tell me, which quarterbacks do y'all like in this upcoming draft? Which ones are y'all more comfortable with? But understand this, you might like a quarterback initially, but if a certain system comes in, because we don't know who the head coach is who the head coach coming in is going to be, and we don't know what type of system is going to be run. So that's going to be a key thing too. But y'all tell me which quarterbacks y'all like. Other than that, this has been your man John Fortune, the number 2 overall pick. And this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.